Hey, it's your boy Dustin from the Flying Chairs, the Rise podcast with my sexy co-host Chrissy. And guess what? We got an awesome guest today from the land down under. We got Elsa, and she's awesome. She's a contactee, and she's just like a starseed. She knows her ways around the cosmos and has her connection with ETs. And I know Australia has their hotspots for ET since the dawn of time. So I am very curious on some other interesting facts about Australia and ETs. And yeah, Elsa, tell us where you grew up and how you got into yourself where you are right now.
Hi, so nice to meet you both. Uh, I I grew up in a really normal family, but my father is Egyptian. He
Oh.
was born in Egypt, Alexandria, which is my middle name, and he used to play in the pyramids. And the most ET information really we had, besides the movies, was that the stars built the pyramids because he used to play in them and be around them, with his brother. So that was as far as. So we just knew the stars built the pyramids, which I loved. Um, and it wasn't just him that said it; it was my papa, so his father as well. And that was as far as it got with ET and metaphysical speech in our family. Not for me, but for my family. I was always told to, that's incorrect, stop talking to your dragons, stop talking to animals, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. I was that child, the one that they always were saying, don't do that. But I was always happy. I wasn't depressed or anything. And I used to get this thing in my ear that would ring, major ringing in my ear. That later, as I went through puberty, started to turn into like Matrix voices. You see those movies where you have thousands and thousands of voices, yeah. So then I just had to learn to turn them off when I'm with others because, well, I wasn't allowed to talk about them. And I didn't even know if there was anyone or it was just all in me. So um, yeah, and then I suppressed it. I got into being a fashion photographer very young. I picked up the camera at 13, and I was into the fashion photography at 17 onwards. So by 2020, I'm traveling around the world shooting for Marie Claire and all these different magazines. Yeah, so that was a different life. Uh, then I met my husband. Well, now he's a fashion photographer too. So he's
Oh.
he's in New York and London, living there with his first wife named Elsa.
Cool. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's so I just kept. It was only a short
The answers
marriage. It was
well.
very quick, but I was like, "You got the wrong one. You got the
The
wrong."
wrong Elsa. Yeah.
Anyway, so he's around all the celebrities like Trump, In
Oh.
Excess, Madonna, all of them at these parties, all like supermodels. Even to today, Richard will say, "Oh, I know them." Like he's a bit older, so he's been around them longer. But all the celebrities, but it wasn't a big thing for him because he was more into the Harleys and the motorbikes and motocross and photography. It was just like go hand. It was just part of his way. It wasn't his life. He didn't live for the celebrities. And I was into horses, so I was into the horses and photography. So that
Mm.
was sort of our. I met Richard, and he came back from New York, and oh my gosh, he just swore so much. Like I couldn't even say certain words, like I couldn't even say genital parts. And in my first date with Richard, I was like, because he was straight off the plane from New York type thing, and he was just so full on, and I was like, I spilt I'd say this all the time, but I always spilt my orange juice on him like 3 times because I was so like shocked at how he was talking to me.
Wow.
Um, he came looking for me. how weird's that?
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. And I was
let's
like,
hear this.
yeah, he had this calling to meet me, and he kept hearing my name through all models, around the world, sort of thing. Yeah. So he came home, he met me, and then I just knew that was it. We were together. It was, yeah. But something being around him shut down my perception of what the world was really
Mm,
quickly. So it was like those scenes in the movie where you see all the doors and ancient gates shut all quickly. And that's what happened. Because I always thought the police and the politicians and the lawyers and the doctors were all really good citizens, and all the movies on Disney and it just shut down so quickly, like in a week or something. So basically, yeah, the whole world just sort of crumbled in like a falling apart labyrinth. That's the best way I can describe it. Yeah.
wow.
Um,
It
it
sounds
was
like,
sorry.
oh, sorry, there's a little bit of a lag because we're so
Yeah,
far
one
away.
lag.
It sounds like you had some psychic abilities that you suppressed when you were younger. Do you have any idea now that you have more perspective of what these voices were that were coming through?
Well, the voices were them assisting me to wake up. So they would, and I know I understand it more now than I did back then because they've tested me all the way through, and they always test at these key ages, which I've noticed the Steiner schools focus on as well. And it's when you lose your first set of teeth. It's these certain dates that come through for humans, and it's like when you turn 18 to 22, there's this time frame, and then when you turn 30, it's another time frame. They're major test points for humans to see if you're ready.
Huh.
And so I had that all the way along, but I did have like I had a near death happen when I was 2 or 3. Well, yeah, so I went to get my parents would take me to the GP to get this ringing out of my ear. So back then they would practice at the doctor's syringing hot water into your ear. I know. It would send me deaf. It would burst my eardrums. They'd bleed and
Oh,
I'd be
you
My
poor
God.
deaf.
thing.
Yeah, but it was quite a common practice back then.
Is it?
Anyway, yeah. So anyway, my mum and I and my little sister was on her hip. We're crossing a highway, and
Mm.
it was 3 lanes and another 3 lanes. So we had to stop in like an island in the middle. Anyway, we stopped in the island in the middle, and my mum swung her hand forward. So I thought we were crossing, and I can't hear because we've just left. Anyway, so I walk out, and then all of a sudden I see bright lights and
Mm.
heat, and I can smell burning hair. I
Oh.
was like, why do I smell burning hair? And I can't hear anything. It's so quiet. It's peaceful and quiet. And then I remember seeing really, really bright lights and like crystals. Yeah. And see, Chrissy's, am I allowed to call you Chrissy?
I love
Yeah.
Chrissy. I like it
Oh,
because it's
Chrissy.
informal and I don't take
Ah,
myself seriously. I like Chrissy more than Christina.
well, see how Chrissy's hair illuminates? That's what I
Yes.
saw, but with
Whoa.
flashes coming through it. So, like threads of light. And then the burnt hair smell um, stopped all the brightness. And then I saw screaming everywhere, screaming. Like, but I couldn't hear it. I'm going, what is going on? I'm on the ground, and I don't know if I was actually hit or I went into shock, but I got a car. The burning was my hair from the headlights because the headlights were made of glass back then. It's showing I am a bit older than you guys, so. Uh, but yeah, the headlight burnt my hair.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that was a near death yeah. So I've had lots of near deaths all the way through my life, and I almost feel like what you're saying, Chrissy, they were tests to see, is she there? Wake up. Is she there? Wake up. Is she there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had other guests on my show that actually had near-death experiences themselves and started having these ET contacts shortly after these um, incidences. So yeah, it makes you wonder: is it a step closer to something that you cross that line where they kind of notice you, like, oh, there they are, there you are. I'm gonna follow you one. No, makes you wonder where. I know, like, there's a theory too, where souls are very important with the ETs, or I don't know if you heard about Linda Moulton Howell's theory, or she heard through whistleblowers about the moon is kind of like a spaceport, obviously, that's ETs are kind of sucking up our souls after we die, and then kind of like taking our souls and kind of putting into alien bodies, because ETs don't have souls, or that's the claim, because a lot of them are expressionless, like a lot of the Greys or the reptilians. But obviously the Nordics and the blondes and tall humanoid looking ones are probably more expressionate, or have more expressions on their face. At least I assumed, because I've talked with other people who interacted with the human ETs too, and yeah, that makes more sense to me, at least, because they seem to be spreading their seed across the stars, and we have some connection with them, obviously, to keep tabs on us.
I think maybe what's happening is after a near-death experience, people become more grateful and less materialistic. And
Sure,
I think
sure.
they vibrate at a higher frequency and see life differently. And I think the ETs probably feel more comfortable communicating with someone who's at a different frequency, maybe. What do
Yeah,
you think, Elsa?
that's great, Chrissy.
It's so true. You've seen the other side. Like they do.
Yeah.
It's an acknowledgement, and this is an act of random kindness. We go on about this a lot. And once you have an understanding for other realms, then the other realms go,
Mm,
they're like, she sees us, like they get excited. You can feel them, they get excited. And this is so you imagine, right? So there's 10 of us, and 10 of us are having contact. So can you understand then the excitement we get from Faye, ET, um, military? Like it's crazy. It is. It's we all just say it's part of the show, because that helps us to not get into the whole hoo-ha of it. But it is bizarre, the stuff that happens around us, and it's because, like, you two would notice it. You would notice the magnetics that you two hold with people around you guys. But then you meet another person, like when your show comes together and it starts to fizz and bubble out. Yeah. And so
yeah,
this is what happens to our family. And it's fun. Like, and because they don't make a big deal about it, and they just get on with the show, I guess, all the time. They just are okay with it. So then their messages that come through are clean and easy to process, because it's not all too scary or too in Fantasia. You know what I mean? It's not too
sure.
Hollywood or yeah. So I guess, also being farm kids, they go, all right, we're going to talk to the sirens, but then we've got to go on to our chores. So it's kind of cute as well. So yeah, they bring a realness to it, and they also aren't afraid of how humans respond to them about it. So
Mm,
if we have farm neighbors over and they're seeing an ET or a humanoid on the ground, or um, we call them the ancient ones, or the giant ones on the land, if they're having that type of experience, they will tell an adult, who's much taller than them, what do you mean you don't see them? Like, they will speak up because they don't know any different. And that's because with our family, we've allowed them. Like, we didn't do what happened with my upbringing, where it's like, shh, don't talk about that. You're going to look crazy. Whereas to our family, they just think that everyone does this.
What a beautiful thing. You're
yeah,
nurturing that side of them that our society suppresses. And you have really a
Yeah.
family
sure.
of seers, don't you?
Yeah. Well, the tricky thing is now half of them are driving and going to nightclubs and having, boyfriends and girlfriends. So they're telling us now, shh, don't talk about it. So now the disclosure's sort of speeding up. They're not so in hush about mum and, what dad and mum and the family do. They're not. So this disclosure is so uplifting for our family because it takes the heat off having to be quiet all the time, like
Sure.
it's actually hard work trying to
Yeah.
be quiet about this stuff, especially if it's happening like right in the sky above you,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Well, again, Australia has been a hotspot since the dawn of time. Like the
mm,
indigenous been talking about the Wandjina, and it talks about these, looks like almost like gray aliens almost. Then they talk about that is it the rainbow snake? It's huge. And again, their legends are awesome. And then again, I always love the boomerang. Like, what the fuck? Like, like you think these people be too busy trying to hunt food and get like shelter and think of like the aerodynamics of a weapon that if you miss your target, it comes back to you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's this that just screams ancient astronaut to me. Like spreading the knowledge of how to use the land, and like we have here in America as the Hopi Indians, and talk about the ant people and the Kachina, helping them through the struggles and teaching them agricultures and mathematics and getting their shit right, and then you see this all over the world. And again, just again uh, Australia is just the honeypot. I really think so, because you have real awesome stuff, since the rock carvings to the rock paintings. Um, yeah. So what kind of like ETs do you interact with? Are they humanoid? Are they blue skinned? Are they? I know there's so many different races of
well,
ETs that are out there.
well, well, the younger ones like to count because they they do, but I think they're up to over 680
Wow.
different. Yeah, um, so we, so when we hear many talk of one type, that's like saying the whole of Earth is one type.
Hmm. Sure.
Yeah, and I don't think Earth is how we've been explained the Earth is either. So the whole dynamics of how um, the the theory of Earth is as well has changed. Time has changed. So the beings change through their evolution as well.
Oh, I do
Uh,
hear that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because you see their
um,
even their ships kind of change throughout the times. You see, like, I think the early
yeah,
descriptions of the ships were like cigar shaped, and then they start to get to saucers, and then get to all these other weird ones now we see today. Orbs.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I'm
it
sorry, go
comes through the power of observation. So it's who. So it's like you know how there's so many versions of the Bible. So you have the first guy that wrote the Bible, but then you have who interpreted that and then translated it, and then they keep making it. So it's like, how you see these Hollywood films and they bring out, Nemo again, or they bring out, they bring out a new version of Charlie's Angels, or so
Oh,
they
yeah.
bring out the new version. So it's not as same as that's what the Bible. That's what. So it depends on who's seeing them. It depends on their belief systems because your eyes filter it differently. So if you're in a fear state, the being that you'll see won't be the same as if you're in a playful state.
Mm,
And which brings me to Chrissy because I love how Chrissy goes to these really scary spots.
yeah, she does.
She goes
Fun.
with this sparkly energy
Yes.
and she's pretty, like goes
She's
with
so pretty.
pretty. I know, goes with so many pretty girls to these spots. And it's a thing. Like, I know we're talking about it lightly, but this is actually energy. You present well when you go, and you're respectful when you go, but you're playful when you go. And that is the key, to be in jest, to be
That
in,
is so true.
It's so true. And
Yeah.
it's the serious ones. This goes really deep, this information too, but I'll just touch on it lightly. The serious ones is science. Seriousness is part of the control program on humanity. Because if you're in spirit, or if you're in the jinn, or you're in jest, you turn off the fear, you turn off the worry, so you can tap into your hippocampus, which is the rainbow serpent dragon in you, in your brain, and you override reptilian, and you use the reptilian as a tool now to understand dialect and yeah. It's so cool, right? And that's all because she turns up looking pretty at these sites. I just go, oh my gosh. But
And
it's so
making dumb
important.
jokes to ourselves and laughing.
She brings a bag full of suckers.
Oh, I need the pops. I need the lollipops, Dustin.
I thought that was for the ghost or something.
No, that's for me. But I did offer some to the ghosts. They didn't want them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing as well. We leave a lot of sugar as an offering. Sugar,
Yes.
we put sugar on popcorn, or the girls make brownies or chocolate chip cookies, or yeah. So if sometimes they know it's a lot of fey energy, they love sugar hits, so we'll go and leave that. And people go, well, that's all make believe. And I go, yeah, it is. And watch what happens after we do this. And this stuff that Chrissy does and the stuff that we do, and I'm sure I'm sure you've got a whole heap of bunch of stories too, Justin. But when we do this stuff, amazing stuff happens to our family. Like it's like the cosmos acknowledges that you've acknowledged spirit, and then it gives back. So it's give and receive. It's a frequency. It's an energy thing, and this is what the puppeteers or the ones in Hollywood who do all these satanic symbols in movies and on TV and things like this, that's what they're doing. So they're making an acknowledgement to their evil, whatever spirit they're making, and they make an acknowledgement. So see how they're doing the same thing? They're just doing it on a different level. That's why they do all the symbolism. David Icke said, and Jordan Maxwell said, the bringing down will be the symbolism of them. But if they don't do the symbolism of it, it can't come about. Do you see what they've been doing all these years?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, so the sugar offering is huge.
Yeah.
It is. It's a big deal. And not only does the sugar, because I always eat dark chocolate. So after this, I need dark chocolate because it stabilizes you. It stabilizes your magnetics and your magnesium.
Magnesium, yeah, it's got magnesium in it, so that helps relax you.
I'm a big gummy bears fan.
Gummy bears.
Oh, yes.
Well, if the kids have lollies, which they don't much, but when they do, they know they're not allowed to eat the orange ones. They're all mine. I love the orange.
The orange ones are good. That's
Hey,
awesome.
Elsa, I have a question because I don't get to talk to many people who have had near-death experiences. How do you personally feel like it's changed you?
The near-death experiences, so when I come out of a near-death experience, the way I now know that I've had one is those voices come in and they get really loud. And then once I'm fully back awake or conscious, then the voices disappear and they're just within, like I get them. When I was a kid, the voices just wouldn't shut up. So I actually had to physically train myself to turn them off because I couldn't communicate very well with anyone because people would say she's deaf, she's not listening to us. And I go, I'm listening, I just listen to these guys. Yeah. And they were a lot of them I had so the near death experiences, each one that I've had, how did they change me? I don't know, because I think what would happen is it would change me, and then it would take a few weeks for it to like manifest in me, and then people would come up to me and say, "You're different. Yeah,
So other
what
people
have you done?"
notice.
Yeah, they notice, and a lot of people, as a young female, I would think, "Oh, they don't like me anymore," because they would shift away, but new ones would come in. So, I've always been popular with people or social with people, but I always would be very sensitive to people that would try and get away from me too quickly. Like I always would notice, you know, you it when you know stuff, you can feel it from them, right? So you can almost hear them um, rejecting you.
Sure.
And as a young female, you take it the wrong way a lot of the time because you're like, why don't they like me? I've been nice to them. Did I say something wrong? But it's not. It's just your frequency. And so when I have these near deaths or these happenings, they change you because you have a different understanding, and you recolonize all the cells in your body. So you become literally a higher breed in yourself, which is what we're supposed to, even if you say you don't do this, it's happening already in you. It's just whether you know it's happening or not, which you guys know, obviously. So,
Sure.
which is
Oh,
great.
absolutely.
I bet it changed Peter Curry's life. Let me
Oh
tell
my
you
God.
that.
Did he have a near-death experience?
I don't know. I love this story. But
I know you do.
Elsa, I've heard that people have been trying to link you guys up together to talk about ET
Yeah.
experiences. But for those who don't know Peter Curry, I'll give you a quick story about him. He had an experience back in, I think, in the 90s. He was sleeping in bed, and it was about like 7 o'clock in the morning. And he felt like a cat jumped onto the bed. He's like, "What the hell is that? I don't own a cat." And he opens his eyes. He's being straddled by a milky white haired, beautiful woman. Or one beautiful, or there's two women there. There's another woman sitting on the side of the bed. Well, this woman straddling him. And he's all in panic mode. He's like, "Who are you girls?" He's like, "How did you get in here?" And he like tries to get up, and the woman cups the back of his head after he was trying to get up, and he just gets in more panic mode, and he bites down on her, and he gets a bit of flesh in his mouth, and he just starts having this reaction, and he hears voices in his head like, "Oh, he's doing this wrong, something went wrong." And after he heard that, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He noticed they were talking to each other, and they just disappeared out of thin air. But he noticed that he had a boner for like 6 hours. It was excruciating, and he saw there was something wrapped around his penis that was like a hair. So he like took a tweezers and like unraveled this, and he said it's super painful. But when he did that, it relieved his boner. So like, what the hell? And he calls the cops, and he calls some scientists to take samples of this hair, and they find out there's something that was like all races of human, even from like the old like Homo erectus, like, and it's all into one. It was like it's crazy, and it had no explanation. And he had took a lie detector test too, and he passed with flying colors. And it's just like, okay, so there's a breeding program that's been going on since again the dawn of time, and they've been doing it old school ways of just someone girl riding on them, or take them on ship and squeezing something out of them. I don't know, but again, very interesting story, and I think he became kind of like a little celebrity now. I think he dates a super hot model now or something like that. And then he's got like a space dick. I don't know.
That in
Wow.
high demand for models, space dicks.
I guess an extraterrestrial rid that thing. Sorry.
It's like the new thing. You're like, oh, you haven't been with one of them. Oh, sorry, I can't date you.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Sorry. We only date people that have been with ETs.
Yeah. And it's funny, I've interviewed a handful of people from Australia, and they all have sex stories of ETs, and they're all like
No
blonde hair, blue.
way.
I'm not shitting you. I'll send you the links to them if you like.
Send me the links.
Yeah, it's pretty
All
funny.
of a sudden, there's this influx of people coming to Australia.
Yeah. Well, my mom's actually traveling there in
Really?
August. Yeah. For 2 weeks.
How
She's gonna be in
cool.
Sydney.
You're
It's the
not gonna
first
go with
time.
her?
No, she's going with a group of friends.
Okay.
No,
Wow.
she's gonna have fun with her girls. But yeah, no, it's very exciting because she again now she's in her golden ages. I guess. She's traveling the world now. She's been going to. She went to India for 2 weeks, and she went to Ireland, and now she's going to Australia. And yeah, it's really cool. So good for her.
So cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Sorry.
with Australia, we've noticed the ET contact comes through the ghost sites and the
Mm.
mines and um uh whale energy, a lot of whale, which is connected to the rainbow serpent story.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So so we'll drive past a spot and I keep saying there's something about this spot. I'm telling you and your audiences because you might have these too happen. So I always say, oh, there'll be like someone's letterbox or a door or a street, and I always go, there's something about this spot. I always look there when we drive past.
Mm.
So I pay attention to that. Anyway, there's these few locations because we live in the country, so it takes us like 20 minutes to get to town. Anyway, so I always say, oh, there's something about that spot. So then I go and make an intention. So I either go and I just stand there or stop there for a minute and or sprinkle a fairy dust or
Mm.
put a crystal or something
Sure.
at that location. I kid you not, within 24 hours, something prevails. They'll find the oldest whale bone there in the world or something.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then things start to change. So once that happens, then you start to see they start having to, like, there's this one spot, they changed a huge festival, shut down, and changed the freeway because of this one spot. And Richard
Really?
goes, see what you did? And I go, no, but I didn't do that. I just started the acknowledgement of it. It was
Oh,
always there. That's an old whalebone. Like I wasn't, well, I don't think I was back then, but that bone's been there for, you know,
thousands of years.
yeah. Well,
Hundreds of
it doesn't
millions, I
even.
guess. It's
Well,
to
it's not
say.
even called a whale. It's called It looks more like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
It doesn't look. It's
Well,
when whales had feet.
yes, yeah,
That type
because
of.
whales were the first ones, first mammals to actually go into the ocean and stay in the ocean. That's just amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but no, even Australia itself has the most bizarre animals, like the platypus right there. That looks like some alien slapped some shit together right there. It's like I'm gonna put some duck and some beaver and some and poisonous snake in it because this thing has venom that comes out of its back flippers. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I
what
didn't
the
heck?
heck?
know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I
You can
didn't.
No.
it
That's
does. It
cool.
has this like little spine spark that comes out with venom, and it has it's mostly blind. And I think it has to use a rock to chew and eat things. And then like if you put it underneath a black light, it'd be glowing and shit.
Yeah.
It's
They do.
gnarly.
They glow.
They
They
glow.
glow.
What the
Most
fuck?
Australian animals glow blue.
Whoa.
Huh,
I know. This is weird. This
That
is
is
so weird.
weird.
so weird.
Yeah, so this is one of the messages we had from a fleet that came over, and they ignited the code of blue. Then I had all my other friends around the world, psychic. They would start saying, "What's this with you on blue? You know that it's a." They couldn't see blue in Egypt.
Mm.
So it was a blue code. So they would paint in blue for the ones that could see blue, but most only could see white, yellow, red, black. That's what the ancient drawings would be. The ones
Wow.
that painted blue, they couldn't see blue, so it was like code. It was they call it the blueprint.
Whoa. Oh, okay. Whoa.
Yeah. Blue is not even a word. Blue is actually it means light and it means law. This is why you have the Red Sea because it was they couldn't see blue.
Oh
But
shit.
so in
Huh.
Australia, all the animals are blue.
Holy
It's
fuck.
weird, right? So I
That is weird.
agree with what you're saying. They've just got all the you know when you see in mythology and you see the fawn and it's got the goat and the man and you
Yeah.
see all these this is real. Like,
Yeah. They're
I
playing
wouldn't
with
be
our DNA with other
surprised.
shit.
Yeah, eventually, I wouldn't be surprised if worlds open up and you'll just start. it, it'll be like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and all these. You'll start to see, all different heights of people and things like
Well,
this.
again, you said like in Egypt, we have those half animals, half men
Yeah.
gods. And I don't know if you knew, like on the, obviously, I'm pretty sure you know, on the west side of Australia, they have Egyptian hieroglyphs on rocks because they've been, since back then, they've been sailing back and forth from
Yeah.
Australia to Egypt. I guess
Well,
like there's,
no, that's where we used to go motorbiking. That's where we
oh,
had our
Oh,
first five
oh,
children.
cool.
So the Gosford glyphs, which is what I think is what you're talking about, the
Yeah.
hieroglyphs there.
Mm-hmm.
We would go, there's another place just 10 minutes from that, and that's called the beginning place. And they would have all hieroglyphs and spaceships on all the rocks.
Yes, yes, the spacious. Yep.
Yeah, so uh, we we went there for 6 years. So the first day we went there was a total eclipse.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then I would just be pregnant with the first batch of kids, and I would go walking with them and show them all the plant life, and then I'd run my hands over all the hieroglyphs, which were like spaceships and things in the rocks.
Cool.
Yeah, but I didn't think anything of it when I was doing it. It wasn't until we shifted up further up the coast that I was alerted that that is where Egyptians were.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, what? And yeah, so again, just tapping into I always used to say there's weird energy in these rocks that we would drive through near the Gosford glyphs, and um, you could. It was like when you would drive through the cliffs, you could hear the rocks talk to you,
Oh,
like
sure.
all yeah, like voices going across the rocks through the cliffs where you drive through. I'm sure that's probably what happens like in Sedona. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
was
Yeah.
in Sedona when I got sent to Sedona. I love this. So I meet Richard, and then I get sent to Sedona on a fashion shoot. And it was just before 4th of July, and it was the Phoenix, Arizona lights.
Oh, cool. Oh, crazy. You were there then?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Whoa.
yeah. I was like, that we were at the hieroglyph place doing a fashion shoot. So Um, I was there on because I love shooting dusk and dawn for the beautiful light,
Hmm.
and so we're going to these sacred sites, and I was there right then when they're doing the whole. I was like, really? And it's like, okay, it's part of the show. It's like, yep, just write it down,
That's
and
hilarious.
so all these things are like continually like tests and upgrading us all the way along. It's just you guys notice it, like you're aware of it and you're open to it, so you notice it more, whereas others don't.
Hmm.
But it's still happening to them. They're just missing the show because they're being
That's true.
distracted. Yeah.
It's their loss. I tell you the
Yeah.
truth, because I feel like the world is the Disneyland of the galaxy, and yeah, people are missing out of like all this interaction with ETs, ghosts, Bigfoot, and other creatures that are coming in and out of these dimensions. Again, and stuff that's coming out of the oceans too. I can only imagine around Australia, they got stuff popping out of the oceans besides sharks. Holy God, I can't imagine.
Oh,
Holy great. But not want to go swimming over there.
no. Well, the other thing is we found with the UFO activity. So I'm on the beach. I'm not a surfer. So I'll be on the beach, and the kids are all surf. They're really good surfers. They're
Cool.
out surfing, and then a craft comes and then drops into the water.
Oh.
And then I look around and everyone's on their phones. And I'm like, why aren't you guys looking at the hot girls and hot guys on the beach? Because they're so cute. Like, they're on their phones. I'm like, why are you guys? And then
Well,
no one's
if Chrissy
looking at
was
this
there,
craft. Yeah, well, we need Chris.
they'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, the phones.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Throw it in
I
the
said,
ocean.
Yeah.
yeah. But that's what they need is to wake up. So, but they're all on their phone. No one saw this thing drop in. And as I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, am I the only one that just saw this drop into the ocean? Two black military choppers with the,
Whoa.
where they hang out the side type, come round the point and go straight to that spot. And as I go, oh, wow, that's a confirmation. I say these words in my head. I'm still just sitting on the beach in my swimwear, right? As I say that, they turn like a right angle, like look at me, and then they fly over me,
Whoa.
both of
Oh,
them. And the kids come in and they're like, what did you do? Like, I didn't do anything. Well, they came in because they thought possibly it's a shark, because that's what
Sure.
but yeah, this sort of stuff happens, and I'm like, am I seriously the only one that just saw that on the beach? And
crazy.
it's crazy, right?
Elsa,
And
you
then
seem so in tune with other realms. And I have to ask, like, because everything is happening all at once, time is just an
yeah,
illusion. Do you remember anything from past lives, anything like that?
uh, um, they keep saying to me, the hardest thing for humanity is they have to understand that it's his story. And I go, I laugh, and they go, they keep saying it's running parallel.
Hmm.
And they say the remote viewing. And so I love using Chrissy because I've visually seen Chrissy go to these locations. So it's really good because it helps me tell a story. So
Cool.
Chrissy goes to these
I
locations
like-
and you're picking up on that story of them. But if there's more than one entities there, you're picking up on multiple stories. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Overwhelming, overwhelming.
well, what happens is you're picking up at them because these places are haunted because they hit crisis point. So they haven't had time to assimilate death. So they get stuck there. So it's like a loop. So they're stuck in a realm loop. So you're walking through literal loops. That's how I describe it to the kids. So this is what I say by time traveling. Time traveling, we all think that you just get in a machine and go somewhere, but it's not. It's you walk into the space of it, like the
Hmm.
realm of it, and that's what when you're walking into ghost energy or fae, it's like you're walking into their ring of frequency or something. So you're picking up, and they keep saying that one of the biggest things for humans to let go of is space and time. And this once that happens, I think it goes like bang. But it will take many moments to let go of that because it's such a thick program in us. Like it's pretty ingrained. And but so when you're asking, do I hear ancient ones or that? Yeah, it's just like how you feel, you would feel it walking through it, like where you feel a ghost go past you.
Yeah.
It, to you, they're right there.
Hmm.
Like they're right there, right? They're just right there. But if you're playing a Hollywood film, there's a whole nother storyline going on because you've got the music playing and you got the scary noise, little girl voice going, like,
Yeah.
so yeah, um uh, it's weird. Sometimes the 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 beings that come through, like um or one of the terminologies they call it is scrying. So I'll be with someone and I can see their pain body come out and their mother or a
Hmm.
grandfather or great great grandfather, and this person will be telling me their story, and then I've got their whole family behind them
Oh yeah.
going, that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
This is a so they're telling me
Whoa.
to support them because this person's regurgitating what they've been told by a doctor or something, whereas their whole family's supporting them, saying, "Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" Rather than um, play. It's like the beings aren't interested in the programs, the clones, the copies, or the clowns. They're so pure. Yeah, so if you go to one of these ghost locations and you're a clown copy, or
that's a great description.
you know what I mean? If you go with that type of mentality, you're not. I wouldn't want to really be around that type of person going to these haunted locations or anything, because what would happen, the outcomes of that, I know, would not be great. Like, they could come away sick. Like, we've had people go to these haunted locations and I don't know if you've ever heard of that they come away and not only do they get sick, their whole family gets sick.
Yeah,
with,
it's like
weird
a
illnesses.
hitchhiker that comes back.
Yes, you do get some hitchhiking effects for sure.
Yeah, so that's because they're not going with pure intentions. That's why I'm saying
Sure.
you got pretty Chrissy going.
Yeah,
with her
Chrissy's got
friends,
good attention.
and
Yes.
she's pretty and happy
Yes.
there, and so so it's so cute. You know,
It is.
they're going, where are you going? Why are you getting so dressed up? I'm going to a haunted site.
She does it every day.
I know.
But they're like, but they're dead. And you're like, to you they are, but
yeah, they still appreciate glam. Just because they're dead doesn't
so that's why it's so important for everyone to see unique ways that we all do
totally
this
agree.
with the spirit beings, because this is the way we will all create together.
Yes.
But if you do it in a copied, cloned way, like Hollywood, that's part of the program as well. So
that's well said. And I think you're right. I think it's again, very unique what we're doing. And again, it's the two aspects, because Christy's more the paranormal and I'm more the ET guy. And it's just a great combo for this podcast.
Yeah.
And again, I just learned to like Chrissy even more and more. That I get to know her, and she's just more on board in her enthusiasm. And I love that she goes out into the field again and with her little team, and just again brings the great energy to the field. And then she gets some really cool feedback. And you know what we should do, Chrissy? We should have some of the stuff that you do, like the EVPs. We should have like a little short EVP.
Want to do that?
Can you send me some of your videos and I can just chop them up and just like have it like a little short, because I want people to know what you do too outside the podcast too. Because I
haven't gotten some of my best EVPs I lost, and I'm waiting for that. I mean, I've gotten some decent EVPs lately, but they're not the best.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I have gotten some clear as day EVPs.
Oh man.
In the past at the Shanley Hotel. I'm waiting for that one. All right. But I mean, you know, I'm going on an investigation on May 1st, May 17th, and May probably 28th, 29th, and 30th. So I have a lot coming up. So I'll definitely send you.
No, I think it'd be perfect if we make it like a short little video of all the EVPs and all this, you know, put some cool stuff into it.
That would be awesome.
What's the EVP? What is an EVP?
So electronic voice phenomenon. So if you take a recorder, you take a recorder and you're sitting very quietly in a room and you're completely alone in a haunted house. You will be talking, asking questions casually. Obviously, in the moment, you hear nothing most of the time. Later on, when you are reviewing your recorder and you're playing it back to yourself, you will hear a clear response, a voice to a question you're asking or whatever. It's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's hard to describe. It's hard to appreciate if you have not been in a situation where you are playing it back to yourself. But when you are a paranormal investigator and you know you were alone, you know it was not even a cricket chirping. It was so silent. You were sitting still, your recorder was still beside you, and you hear a goddamn voice respond to you. And you get so freaking excited. I can't explain it to you guys. I can't. You would have to just experience it, okay?
We there's these sites here in Australia, and they've had US come out and do the recording. Cool. So I decipher it for them. And a lot of the time they've been told a ghost story about the location, And I will hear the recordings and go, that's not what happened. Yeah, so they'll talk about, like, there's one location here and they said, oh, a little girl died on the swing. And I was like, that's not what I'm getting.
Sure.
I'm getting, like, this was a port for trafficking.
Oh, shit.
Or yeah, like, yeah. So, and I can hear the beings or the ancient ones or whoever is in the recording getting so pissed with the people that are listening, because they're almost making it into something that it isn't. And I can hear the beings in the recording, their frequency get angrier. Because they're going in with a cloned, copied thing again. Like, they're going in with a preconceived idea of what this haunted location is, rather than go in with an open, allowing intention and being pure, because then you'll actually get what really happened, rather than fed the story.
Sure,
like,
sure.
You know how people say, go and find the truth for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these locations that you're about to go to in May, yeah, it'll be really interesting to now hear that, because, you know, I'm just so excited, because it's exciting, because it is. Do you get scared? Like, do you ever get scared, like, before you go?
You know, I feel that after sometimes I get scared. Like the other day, I got some voices and stuff that I was pouring holy water into a necklace for my friend. And I was just talking. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna pour this holy water into this necklace for you, Laura. And I was just chilling. Later on, I hear like demonic screaming and stuff. And like, like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So I I wore my holy water necklace for like 5 days after that.
You open a portal to hell, yo.
I heard like a demon voice screaming no as I'm pouring it, and I had no idea that that was happening.
Whoa.
It's funny now.
I'm got these pimples and I'm getting messages.
Uh-oh.
That one didn't know that they had crossed over.
What? Really?
Yeah. So so this is what I'm saying. Like, this is beautiful, because you're going into such a light-hearted manner, and you're not going with all the heavy dark, because you're going with this light manner, which is important, because your frequency is high. So you're not going with scared, right? This is really important. Like, you can see it on charts where the frequency level is, where you are with your frequency, with your energy. So you're going in this playful, you look pretty, you're more concerned that you have the right outfit on, which I get totally. And you go there and you're still respectful to whomever being's there, right? Then you do your little active acknowledgement. So you do your holy water, and then you hear, no. Yes. I'm getting that they've just realized you've just grounded them. Oh. You've just actually let them go.
Dang.
Oh, interesting. Maybe that is what happened.
You
oh
know
my
what I mean?
gosh.
Like, no.
Whoa,
like, I actually
dang.
feel like crying, because I feel like do you know how long that person or being is stuck?
Oh, sure. Not knowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them don't actually know they've crossed over.
Damn, Chrissy.
Maybe, yeah, that might be what happened, because it just, the whole recording was just background noise of someone sounding angry, upset, puffing, hissing, crying. Like, it was weird. It freaked me out so much.
Well, I would do the same thing if I found out I was pissed or I found out I was dead. Yeah, if I found out I was pissed.
But not dead for like 1 year, mate. You're dead for like, could be dead for hundreds of years. So
yeah.
So look at it in a playful manner now. So he's been going, are you kidding me? I've been dead for 100 years.
Yeah, right. Feel better then.
But see, most people don't think like this when you go to a haunted place. So yeah, we had one when we first. So we were in the Lismore floods. So then we had to shift to this home, and a beautiful home, beautiful farm, and we shift here. Anyway, for 6 months, the kids kept getting this haunted guy coming through the window and looking at them while they're in the gym.
Oh,
yeah.
dang.
So we had 5 members that had this encounter, but no one told me. And because we were shifting and we had lots of farm animals to shift, and we were kind of in a mess. For 6 months you're always unpacking everything, and anyway, for 6 months they didn't tell me, and they went like, I'm not doing gym in the morning because he keeps looking in the window. And I'm like, who is looking in the window? What's going on? They said, oh yeah, don't worry, Jet's seen them too. And I was like, who? And they said, oh, it's this guy looking in the window. I was like, why aren't you guys telling me? Anyway, so I collect all the information, and then I go and do my like clearing towards this. And it was someone who was very old, like 100 years or something, who had been clobbered over the back of their head while he's at his fireplace. Damn. So he didn't know he was dead. So he thought we were aliens because we're walking around with these devices.
Sure. Oh,
and he's trying to work out what is going on.
Oh, right.
Do you understand? Like when you start to think about it,
sure.
We're the freaks. And this ghost is like, what? And they're in the gym doing all the gym stuff to this music on a boombox, or so they got laser light or just anything electrical. They're like, what is and then once we let this being go, then things would come to us like gifts or something.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, just like, so you would get it was like a thank
rewarded
you.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like they almost come in and help you. And I would love you, Chrissy, if you could. I would love to hear how it goes with you. Like I'm going to watch, obviously. Once you do these things in May, the after effects for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll have you back. We'll have you back.
Yes, we'll definitely have you back too.
Yeah, we'll just have you back and we'll just chit chat that situation. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yes.
I want to hear,
because because the more everyone does this spirit work because I call you guys the Braves, because you go out there and you don't care what anyone says. You're just out there like the warriors, right? Doing your thing. And it's unconditional. So you're just doing it, right? Yeah. And so more and more people look to you as role models, they'll start just doing it. And then this whole fear then goes, the fear of death goes, then time goes and space goes. So then everyone becomes abundant, and the disclosure will start. Disclosure will happen so much faster the more we all do this.
Love that.
True.
Yeah. So we'll actually become like super beings, because we've been living in a world that's been very manipulated by weather and animals and the food we eat. Once disclosure happens, the patents will get released and our world will change really quickly, but they're waiting for us to step it up. Then it's not going to come through. It's not going to come through the politicians. It's going to come through people like you guys.
Oh,
thank you. It means a lot to us. Seriously.
Yeah, it really will. Yeah. It really will. And I know because it's happening for our kids. And so we're like, there's 10 of us doing our own thing, and it happens, and I see it happening to us all the time, and it works. It really does work. And it's just now we just got to show others that it works. They've just got to do it their way. So
that's so cool. Yeah, Chrissy's saving one soul at a time. Now knowing that her presence of the EPPs are helping her realize that they're dead.
Yeah, right.
No,
I guess I did do something good that day. I wasn't aware of it at the time.
I love that.
I can just see him getting quite like, because like when you do something, do you imagine doing something for 100 years? Like when you forget something, or you put your car keys or something, and you get annoyed with yourself because you spend an hour looking for them. This poor guy's been doing it for 100 years.
Gosh.
It's like, no.
And Chrissy's like just showing him the keys here. Like, here you go. Shit.
So cute.
That is awesome.
Well, have you had ET? Because usually when someone says they had ET, I see if I can.
Oh yeah, well I
out of it, boy.
I had a personal sighting back in October 19th. 2012 on the west side of Madison, Wisconsin, where I live. I was just leaving my girlfriend's house, and I just were walking to my car, and I so happened to look into the sky, and out of the clouds came this black boomerang size of a school bus with 5 white dim lights underneath it, and it was about 40 feet above the treetops, and it was dead silent. My stomach dropped, my jaw dropped, my hair stood up. I was just again, I was just like, is that a military plane? And like, why is it dead silent? And why does it look like that? Like this, so many questions were racing through my head, and it was going about like, I don't know, 60 miles per hour over my head. And I just watched it the whole time until it disappeared where I couldn't see it anymore. And I ran back to my girlfriend's house, hysterical. Like, you won't believe what I just saw. and then that where I just dove deep into the UFO subject, finding out Wisconsin here is a treasure trove for UFO sightings. We have 3 towns that claim to be the UFO capital of the world, and they have yearly UFO parades and dress up like aliens. And so we have a long history of UFO sightings here. I don't know if it's because of the Great Lakes and whatnot. We have pyramids here too. We have Aztalan, that's about 30 minutes away from Madison, where I live. We have these land pyramids. They call it Aztalan. I think the Aztec were the ones that came up from all the way from South America and set up shop. And it's very bizarre because they built this gigantic wall. Let me show you some pictures really quick while I describe this, because it is amazing.
So you said the feeling where you felt your stomach drop like this?
Yeah, just when I saw it, just like all the weird feelings of fear, confusion, because I didn't, what the hell was that? Again, it was very clear. And then like UFO went right to my head too. It's like, that's a fucking UFO. But this is Aztalan aerial views. You can see how small the people are in the bottom there. But yeah, there's 2 pyramids here. This is called the Pyramid of the Sun, and then they have the Pyramid of the Moon. It's a 1 staircase pyramid. But the Native Americans in the area said these people came from afar, and they had different clothing. Some practiced elongated skulls, and they practiced cannibalism. They waged war with other neighboring Indians, and they built this gigantic wall. You kind of see it there. They have to replace the poles because they rot out, obviously. But yeah, again,
so that feeling. So I'm not getting that it was you. This feeling where they push down. No. Well, this feeling where it gets pushed down, they're pushing all your frequency down so they can fill the top half. Yeah. So they only just need to do they call it a Passover. This is what they call Easter. This is what they call Easter with the 2 meteors that we have had just go over. So that the religions know this because they would practice Lent. So they would get their bodies, temples cleansed, in ready so that they were leaning the right way for the asteroids, the Lyrids and the Etters came past over Easter. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So but if this pushing you down, this is them doing it to you. They push you down so they can upload you. They've uploaded you something.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny too that I filmed in my backyard last year. There's a crazy thunderstorm, and I wanted to catch the lightning in the sky in my backyard. So I just put my iPhone on slow motion mode just to catch the lightning. And I caught some awesome lightning. I ran back inside, and shit you not, there's a fucking flying saucer flies right through that fucker. And I'm like, what the fuck? Enough where I put this online. I put this online and it went viral. So much so where people are like, you guys send this into MUFON. So I sent it into MUFON. And then they gave me this diagnosis, like that is a legit UFO. And I talked to I had to go down to Chicago's paranormal convention. I talked to the head director of MUFON in Illinois and told him my case. And check this out. I don't know if you know who Colonel Wendell Stevens is. He's a famous UFO investigator from the 1960s and 70s. He's known for the Billy Meyer case in Switzerland. But anyways, 2 years ago, I caught wind that his storage locker was up for auction, and I got 2 boxes out of there. And he's known to have the largest UFO photograph collection in the world. And I have over 200 photographs of his personal collection of actual cases that he worked on. I have some from Australia. I have this one I can show you later. But yeah, again, I put all these photographs online and they went viral. And then all of his old colleagues got a hold of me to verify that I had this stuff. I was just bullshitting that I was just copying, pasting pictures and claiming they were mine. And I would hold them up or send them information of what I had. So yeah, I was getting clarified, and I started getting interviewed by all these podcasters from all around the world. This one woman from the UK that has a big following, the ET newsroom, and it's just kind of like snowballed all the way down where all these big namers then started talking to people from Ancient Aliens. We had Eric Von Daniken on our show. We had Professor Avi Loeb from Harvard. Again, like all these people that have like idolized and like read books, and like, now I'm actually talking on the phone with Paula Harris that used to be like colleagues with like Wendell Stevens. I'm like, what business do I have? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, and I could totally see what you're saying. Maybe they were setting me up, knowing that I have a future of making being a beacon for their existence. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a podcast, and I have this beautiful Chrissy that's out here sharing her wisdom and her experiences, and getting people interested in the paranormal. Again, I just like it's just weird. Again, manifesting my destiny almost. It's weird. Even with Chrissy too. Like you put your hobby full front and it explodes. You have all these other people that want to be a part of what you're doing, Chrissy, and they're like, let's go meet up to this haunted house and just do this shit.
That's the passion, Dustin. When the passion is there,
right?
Well,
all blossoms, right?
This is history. This is what they tell me history is. It's the power of prayer. Prayer isn't like how we understand it in the Bible. The power of prayer is you have an image and then you walk into it. This is what Hollywood's about. They're planting eye magic in us so that we play out the movies. So now you're switching the movies off. You're being playful, and so then you become a player. You're not a reactor. So you become a crate of tar, not an actor. Like it's very different. So there's the players who are allowed to play, and these ones that have got in touch with you, the ones with the big profiles, they're testing to see where you're at. Okay. They would be remote viewing you, by the way. So they would be testing. They would know that so they know and they're testing to see where you're at. This is what happens. We find with us. We just put a video out about this. They call them handlers, and the handlers come in and test your level of where you're at. And so you had the black one, the boomerang. It comes down, pushes it down, fills you up. Then you got your lightning one.
Yeah.
And they're seeing how much you've digested it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I digested it. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Damn.
But so you have the ETs, but then you have the ghosts. It's the same thing. It's the same.
Yes.
Just, see, the ET ones feel more comfortable, Dustin, but the Fae and the ghosts and the land ones might.
Yes.
So you would be coming across werewolf types in these locations, I'm sure, as well. So, see how
that's why we make a great team.
It's so cool, right?
No, it's awesome. It's a great concept.
From each other, like how far in America are you?
Unfortunately, he's in Wisconsin. Yeah.
So it's like 11-hour drive.
On the East Coast. Oh, 11 hours. Wow. Oh, yeah. So you're way, way away. Yeah. But see, like you're like terminals. Yeah. Everything in between.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very cool. It's so cool.
No, it's very cool. And it's so awesome to actually hear that from a nice perspective, just looking in, like just again, like you got to see who we are, and like it's really cool actually hear that feedback, and like I never actually thought about my first experience doing that, and then actually maybe they are keeping an eye on me. I actually never heard that from somebody else.
I knew they were. I knew they were.
Oh, maybe Chrissy knew.
Oh yeah. They know about it.
Well, Chrissy's an ET, so that's my belief.
Well, because Chrissy's tapping into the ghost human markers, and you're tapping into more the galactic ones. Chrissy would be tapping into the ones that are connecting to you, that are live. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Crazy.
So you can see so she knew that they're checking in.
Damn, look at that, Chrissy.
Yeah.
We got some ETs and ghosts hooking us up.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Because there's
Elsa,
10 of
you're
us
awesome.
in the family. See, there's 10 of us. Because there's 10 of us, everyone was having different ways of encountering similar beings sometimes. So I would be able to work out a lot more versions of it. So it just became, so it was like a schooling in itself. They taught me, the kids taught me how
that's great.
to look at it in different versions. So yeah, rather than looking at it how we've been taught, you know.
Yes. That's awesome. Well, guess what? That was awesome. And I think we're running out of time here. But hey, I think we need to have you back. And I think we have to hear more.
I want to hear these stories.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely have you.
I want to hear your stories. We gotta have you back.
Do you know Heidi Pop? Are you friends with her? Do you know Heidi Pop?
She's so cute. I love
Isn't she
Heidi.
cute?
She's adorable.
She's another co-host of ours that kind of just jumps on once in a while. So I'll hook you up. Well, all four of us will just chit chat and it'll be fun.
She's another player. She's playful and
she is.
She's the most. I think she's like the cutest person I've ever seen.
She is. She's like a little real life Betty Boop.
Yes.
I like it because everyone's a little bit naughty as well. So
exactly. We are naughty.
Everyone's a bit naughty. Because they have you noticed how the paranormal and the ETs, they're naughty.
Oh,
like
yeah,
our kids, our kids say things you shouldn't say. Like, I know. We're not allowed to say what they said.
That's so funny. That's why we like to stay edgy and stay, unique outside of other podcasts. So that's right.
Yeah.
Gotta be you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
No, that's great. Hey, Elsa, can you tell us where other people can reach out to you or find some stuff that you do online?
Yeah, well, we have spinbeings.com, so you can see how we do our videos. Our videos are usually little short snaps of like interviews like today, and we just do them as trailers, so then people can go, oh, I really love that person's energy, so then they'll go in and watch, an hour show. Then we're also on a new platform called Ascension TV, and this is with Sheila Seppi, and we have a channel there as well, so they have all on the radio stations across America and different broadcasting stations there. So
that's great.
Yeah, we do sessions just to help people unfold information like how we did today. But yeah, we're just really we're just here to show others that there is no right or wrong way to do this. It's your way, and we support others. So because we're wanting disclosure, we're wanting this new way of being for our family too, because then it comes back to you, it's give and take.
So true. Well, thank you so much. Hey, can you stay with me for 2 more minutes?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.